In the silent theater of nature, a hidden drama unfolds, not of predator and prey, but of a deep, persistent hunger. Beneath the tranquil beauty of forests and meadows, an invisible struggle is always underway. It is a story as old as life itself, a tale of survival and adaptation, where every living thing is driven by a need that cannot be ignored. Every living thing, from the smallest blade of grass to the towering redwood, is on a relentless quest for the building blocks of life. Plants, in particular, are locked in a constant search for the elements that allow them to grow, reproduce, and thrive. Among all the nutrients they seek, one stands above the rest in importance. Among these, nitrogen stands out, the architect of leaves, the core of chlorophyll, and the very essence of growth. Without enough nitrogen, a plant cannot create the lush green pigment that captures sunlight, nor can it build the tissues that form its body. Without nitrogen, life would simply cease. Plants deprived of this vital element become weak, their leaves yellow and their growth stunted. The difference between a thriving forest and a barren patch of earth often comes down to the presence or absence of nitrogen. Imagine a plant reaching for the sun, weaving light into energy, yet needing nitrogen to build its own body. Sunlight alone is not enough. Without nitrogen, the plant cannot turn that energy into new leaves, stems, or roots. It is as if the plant is trying to write a story, but is missing half the letters in the alphabet. Nitrogen is a key ingredient in amino acids and proteins, the workhorses of every cell. These molecules are essential for building enzymes, repairing tissues, and driving the countless chemical reactions that keep a plant alive. It's also at the heart of DNA, the blueprint of life. Without nitrogen, a plant cannot pass on its genetic code, cannot grow new cells, and cannot adapt to the changing world around it. A plant starved of nitrogen is pale and stunted, unable to fulfill its potential. Its leaves lose their vibrant color, its growth slows, and it becomes vulnerable to disease and drought. The signs of nitrogen deficiency are a silent cry for help, echoing through fields and forests alike. This need for nitrogen shapes where plants grow, how they thrive, and the richness of entire ecosystems. The abundance or scarcity of nitrogen can determine which species dominate a landscape and which are left struggling to survive. A thriving meadow is a community that has solved the nitrogen puzzle. Here, plants have found ways to access this precious nutrient, supporting a tapestry of life that stretches from the soil to the sky. For plants, finding usable nitrogen is a constant, silent struggle beneath the soil. Roots probe the earth, searching for traces of this elusive element, competing with neighbors and even forming alliances to survive. This quest has led to some of nature's most remarkable partnerships, alliances that have shaped our green world. From the tiniest microbe to the tallest tree, the craving for nitrogen has driven innovation, cooperation, and the evolution of life itself. When you look up at the sky, it's easy to imagine an endless supply of resources. In fact, nitrogen, a crucial ingredient for life, makes up a staggering 78% of the air we breathe. It seems like plants should have no trouble finding what they need to grow, since they're literally surrounded by this invisible ocean of nitrogen gas. But here's the twist. Plants are enveloped by this element, yet most of them can't use it in its natural form. It's all around them, but just out of reach. That's because atmospheric nitrogen exists as N2, where two nitrogen atoms are locked together by one of the strongest chemical bonds in nature, a triple bond that's nearly impossible to break without special help. For plants, it's like being stranded on a raft in the middle of the ocean, dying of thirst while surrounded by water they can't drink. There's plenty of nitrogen, but it's locked away, inaccessible. This is one of nature's great paradoxes, an abundance of a vital resource, but a barrier that keeps it out of reach for most living things. Plants can easily absorb water from the soil and carbon dioxide from the air, fueling their growth and photosynthesis. But nitrogen gas just drifts by, untouchable, as if it were a ghost. If no organism could break this stubborn bond, our planet would be a barren wasteland, its life limited by a silent, invisible shortage of usable nitrogen. The real challenge isn't how much nitrogen there is, but whether it's in a form that living things can actually use. Plants starved of usable nitrogen struggle to grow, turning yellow and weak. Unlocking this vast, hidden pantry of nitrogen is one of life's most critical and ingenious processes. It's the key to lush fields, healthy crops, and thriving ecosystems. Only a select few organisms, tiny but mighty, have mastered the art of breaking nitrogen's triple bond, transforming the world and making life as we know it possible. Unable to break nitrogen's bonds themselves, plants turn to ancient allies, bacteria. Certain bacteria possess nitrogenase, an enzyme that snaps the triple bond of atmospheric nitrogen. This process, nitrogen fixation, is the cornerstone of a powerful partnership. But nitrogenase is destroyed by oxygen, so bacteria need a safe, oxygen-free haven. The solution? Symbiosis. Plants invite these bacteria inside, offering shelter and food. In return, bacteria convert nitrogen gas into ammonia, a form plants can use. This is no casual arrangement, it's a deeply integrated partnership. Plants and bacteria communicate chemically, negotiating their exchange. The plant controls the environment, ensuring the bacteria can work. Together, they overcome a shared challenge, creating a system more successful than either alone. This hidden alliance in the soil allows entire ecosystems to flourish. One plant family has perfected this partnership, the legumes. Beans, peas, lentils, clover, and even acacia trees all host nitrogen-fixing bacteria. These master farmers enrich the soil, generating their own fertilizer from the air. This gives them an edge in poor soils, where others struggle. Clover thrives lush and green thanks to its underground workforce. Legumes have colonized diverse habitats, pioneering barren lands and building fertile soil. Their success has shaped both wild landscapes and human agriculture. For millennia, farmers have rotated crops with legumes to enrich the soil. The legume family, with its hidden helpers, is one of nature's most productive forces. Dig up a healthy bean or clover, and you'll find small lumps on the roots, root nodules. These are not diseases, but purpose-built factories for nitrogen fixation. The process begins with a chemical conversation roots signal. Bacteria respond, and the plant allows entry. The plant builds the nodule, cell by cell, creating a specialized organ. Inside, the plant pumps sugars to feed the bacteria and produces leg hemoglobin to manage oxygen. Slice a nodule open, and you'll see its pink color, evidence of leg hemoglobin at work. Millions of bacteria, now called bacteroids, work in concert, sheltered and fed. In exchange, they produce a steady stream of ammonia for the plant's growth. Inside the nodule, the real alchemy begins. Rhizobia use nitrogenase to break N2's triple bond, a feat human factories can only mimic with immense energy. The plant supplies sugars for this energy-intensive process. Up to 20% of the plant's energy goes to fueling its bacterial partners. The bacteria combine nitrogen with hydrogen to make ammonia. Ammonia is passed to the plant, quickly converted into amino acids, the building blocks of proteins. These nutrients travel throughout the plant, fueling growth. As long as the plant is healthy, this self-fertilizing system continues. Together, plant and bacteria turn air into life, enriching the world around them. The impact of nitrogen-fixing plants extends far beyond themselves. As they grow and die, their nitrogen returns to the soil, nourishing other plants. Legumes are often pioneers, enriching barren ground and paving the way for diverse ecosystems. Their presence signals a healthy, functioning environment. In forests, legumes constantly replenish soil nitrogen, supporting all plant life. This natural enrichment cycle is essential for long-term fertility. Farmers have harnessed this gift for millennia, rotating crops and using green manure to boost soil health. These sustainable practices reduce reliance on artificial fertilizers and maintain farmland vitality. The legume-bacteria partnership offers a lesson for modern agriculture. Industrial nitrogen fixation feeds billions, but at a high environmental cost, fossil fuel use and pollution. Much synthetic fertilizer is wasted, washing into rivers and harming ecosystems. Beans and clover show a better way, working with nature's own nitrogen-fixing systems. Crop rotation, intercropping, and cover crops harness this biological power. These methods improve soil health and reduce our dependence on chemicals. Embracing them means seeing farms as ecosystems, not factories. The secret in a clover's roots is a blueprint for sustainable, resilient farming. As we face the dual challenges of climate change and a rapidly growing global population, the ancient partnership between plants and bacteria becomes more vital than ever before. Our food systems are under increasing pressure, and the solutions we choose today will shape the future of our planet and the generations to come. Turning air into fertilizer is a secret that nature has mastered, and it's a lesson we must now apply on a global scale. Harnessing this natural process could help us reduce our reliance on synthetic fertilizers, which are energy-intensive to produce and can harm the environment. Scientists around the world are working to engineer major crops, like wheat and rice, so they can fix their own nitrogen, just as legumes do. If successful, this breakthrough could spark a revolution in agriculture, making food production more sustainable and resilient in the face of environmental change. But we don't have to wait for scientific miracles. Solutions are already growing in our fields, quietly supporting our food supply. Legumes such as beans, peas, and lentils naturally enrich the soil and reduce the need for chemical inputs. Supporting legume-based farming practices helps restore the natural nitrogen cycle, strengthens ecosystems, and improves soil health. These time-tested methods can boost yields while protecting the environment and supporting farmers' livelihoods. The story of nitrogen fixation is a story of deep connection, linking soil, plants, atmosphere, and society. It reminds us that our well-being is tied to the health of the land and the invisible processes beneath our feet. Tiny bacteria living in root nodules may be invisible to the naked eye, but they are essential to the food on our tables and the health of our planet. Their work sustains life, quietly connecting ecosystems and people across the globe. Nature's most resilient systems are built on cooperation and mutual support. By observing these relationships, we can learn how to create more sustainable and productive food systems. By learning from this ancient alliance, we can feed humanity while protecting the Earth's delicate balance. The choices we make today will echo far into the future. The humble legume shows us a path forward, one where we live in harmony with our world, nurturing both people and the planet for generations to come.